Have you ever stopped to think about what actually happens when you tap your phone to pay for something? I mean, it feels like pure magic, right? But behind that super simple tap, there's this massive hidden network doing all the heavy lifting. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on all of it. The complexity, the risks, and the pretty incredible tech that powers that digital wallet in your pocket. Let's jump in.
We all know this feeling. You're buying your morning coffee, grabbing groceries, maybe splitting a dinner bill with a friend. It's just effortless. A quick tap of your watch or your phone, and boom, you're done. You're on your way. And honestly, this kind of seamless experience isn't a luxury anymore, is it? It's just what we expect.
And here's the crazy part. While payments are getting easier and faster for us, the consumers, the world behind that tap is getting so much more complex and, frankly, way more risky for the businesses that have to make it all work.
To really get a handle on this, let's just take a second to look at the sheer scale of the threats the businesses, and let's be honest, all of us, are facing in this super connected world.
Okay, just let this number sink in for a minute. $1 trillion. That's how much money is lost to scams across the globe, every single year. We're talking about everything from romance scams to bogus investments, and the financial hit, not to mention the emotional toll on people, is just huge.
Now, what's really wild here is how connected all these threats are. See, an attack doesn't just hit one company anymore. A single breach in one software company can set off this massive ripple effect, spreading to literally thousands of other organizations. And the cost? On average, it's 7 times more expensive than a direct hit.
And get this, it's not just criminals. You've got chargebacks, when you dispute a charge on your card. Well, they're projected to just skyrocket. And what's interesting is that a lot of the time, it's not even classic fraud. It could be something as simple as someone being confused about a purchase, or even folks who are kind of gaming the system. Either way, it's another massive headache for businesses. So here's the bottom line. To fight all these different kinds of threats, businesses have had to basically tape together this patchwork of separate, really expensive security tools. They've got one for card fraud, another for account takeovers, a third for chargebacks. It's just inefficient, it's costly, and it leaves all these dangerous gaps.
So all this chaos is forcing a big rethink. Instead of just adding more and more locks to the door, what if we could completely redesign the door itself? And this is where a totally new way of thinking about security comes into play.
This question, right here, gets to the absolute heart of it. What if a business didn't need a dozen different security products from a dozen different companies? What if they could just plug into one single, trusted connection and get everything they need?
And this visual just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the old way. It's a total spaghetti monster of tangled, individual connections for every little thing. Then on the right, you have the new way. One simple, clean connection that unlocks an entire network of tools.
The best analogy is probably the App Store on your phone. Think about it. You don't buy a whole new phone just to use a new app, right? Of course not. You have one device, one trusted connection to the store, and you can securely download and use any service you want whenever you want. And that is exactly the idea behind something called MasterCard Access. It's not just one product, it's a whole services network. It's a single front door that lets businesses tap into this entire ecosystem of cutting-edge security and intelligence tools.
Okay, so the App Store idea sounds cool, but how does it actually work? Well, let's look at one of the most powerful ways it's being used: fighting fraud with a really smart, collaborative AI.
Okay, this is so cool. The AI doesn't just look at one transaction by itself, it actually maps out the relationships between all of us, the consumers, and the places we shop, creating what they call digital neighborhoods. So if fraud happens at one store, the system instantly knows that other stores in that neighborhood, other places that same group of people like to shop, are now at a higher risk. They get a heads up, proactively.
And look, this isn't just a theory. Big banks like Swedbank are already using it. They're saying these global AI insights are helping them prevent fraud at a level they just could never have reached on their own. It really works.
Now, this whole network approach is so important because, let's be real, the way we pay for things is changing fast. It's not just about plastic cards anymore.
We're all using more direct account-to-account or A2A payments. Think Venmo, Zelle, direct bank transfers, that kind of thing. But these new methods bring new risks, like something called authorized push payment fraud. It's a fancy name for when a scammer tricks you into sending them your money directly. And once it's sent, poof, it's basically gone.
And this is exactly why having a unified network is such a game changer. That same smart AI that protects your card payments can be used to protect all these other ways to pay too. It's one consistent shield of security no matter how you choose to send your money.
So let's zoom out for the big finish. What does all this really mean for the future? Why does moving from that messy, fragmented system to a single, unified network actually matter so much?
Well, for businesses, the wins are obvious. Less fraud, things run smoother. But what about for us? Well, it means more of our legitimate purchases actually go through. No more of those annoying random declines. It means a safer, smoother experience overall. And it means the system is ready for whatever the next big thing in payments is going to be.
At the end of the day, this is about way more than just technology or stopping a few bad guys. You can't have a digital world that works for everyone without a solid foundation of trust. This is all about making sure that every single time you tap, click, or send, you can feel confident that the system is working hard to keep you safe.
So the next time you make one of those effortless payments, just for a second, remember that huge invisible network working in that split second, a network built on data, powered by AI, and designed completely around trust.
And that really leaves us with the big question for our future, doesn't it? As our lives get more and more connected, making sure it's all secure, well, that becomes everything. That simple tap is really just the beginning.